Welcome to Fitzdog Radio. Greg Fitzsimmons, your host, with an all-new voice. You can hear the difference, I'm sure. I took a voice class with a bunch of people online with this woman who does a great job, Adele Cabot. I find that when I do stand-up by Saturday Night Late Show, I've almost always lost my voice. And so I learned some techniques of using my voice better. I hope you can hear it. I can't. It's actually a little tight this morning. Fun class. It was kind of a celebrity. There was a celebrity's kid in the class. I can't say who, but one of the biggest celebrities in Hollywood. His daughter was in the class. She was delightful. I can't say her name. You're not allowed to talk about the class outside the class. That was one of the rules. Oh, it was fun. Anyway, let's talk about my life. I just did, yesterday I took my car in to get it serviced at the Toyota dealership in Marina Del Rey. And I realized something, like, I am really lonely and estranged because this was the closest thing to a work environment or a social. I mean, I've hung out with some friends, but something about that waiting room. I got to Toyota and I pulled up and I start talking. First you pull in and a technician comes out with a clipboard and asks you what you need. And he was kind of this fun Latino guy. And I talked to him in Spanish a little bit, and it was bad, and he made fun of me. And then I told him about this website where you can get tea times. We talked about golf. I wrote it down for him, and he goes, "I'll put a rush on this for you, Mr. Fitzsimmons." I said, "Well, thank you, Juan." His name was Juan. And then I go inside and I check in, and have some. I sit down, I say, "Hey, by the way, can I change?" I ask everybody in the waiting room, "Do you mind if I change the channel?" It was on Friends, which is perhaps the worst sitcom in history. And I said, "You guys mind if I put on the golf?" Because the Masters was on. And so they were like, "Yeah, that's cool." So I asked the lady and I changed the channel. And then I sat next to this guy who's a golfer. And we were talking about golf. It was a big golf day at Toyota. And then I said, I need some coffee. So I asked the cashier, I go, "You want something? You want a coffee?" And she said, "Yeah, give me like a latte. Give me a holiday kind of a latte." So I walked down to Pete's Coffee, and I walk in, and I know the lady there. And so we talk a little bit. I get the latte. I get myself an Americano. And I walk back, and I give it to her. And she's so happy. She comes out and gives me a hug. She's like, "Nobody ever does that for me." And then I'm watching the Masters with this guy, and then this lady comes in, older lady, grandmother, and she's got 2 grandkids with her, and the kids are bound. First of all, she's got McDonald's, and each of the kids has a fucking 64-ounce soda, and now the kids are bouncing off the wall. It's like, well, what do you think was going to happen? And so I said, "You kids want to watch some cartoons?" They said, "Yeah." So I went and I got the remote and I found SpongeBob SquarePants, which is a show that everybody can enjoy, not just the kids. So we're all watching SpongeBob, and me and the old lady start talking. And we were talking about kids and schools and having a blast. And then my car's ready and I go to leave, and the old lady's like, they call my name Mr. Fitzsimmons, and the old lady goes, "Goodbye, Mr. Fitzsimmons. Thanks for doing that. You're a gentleman." And the 2 kids start waving at me and smiling. "Thank you, Mr. Fitzsimmons." And I walk out of there and I was like, that's what makes me happy. I just realized I've been like that since I was a little kid. I love meeting people. I like making what would otherwise be an unpleasant experience for people fun. I don't know. And I realized I've been alone in my office. Look at this fucking office I'm sitting in. I got Bruce Springsteen there. I got Jimi Hendrix there. And the rest of the office is empty. Those are my friends. That's what I listen to. By the way, if you're not watching this on Zoom, you're fucking crazy. Or on YouTube, you're crazy. You gotta see this. This is 54 that looks, I look 53. Anyway. That was my fun day. And that's how I was when I was a kid. I remember getting drunk. We used to go to the city a lot. And we're about 30 minutes north of New York. And so we come back on the train. And I remember getting drunk. It might have been St. Patrick's Day. And we were drunk on the train. And I was walking up and down the aisles, basically doing stand-up comedy for a bunch of commuters at like 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. And my friends were dying. Everybody on the train was laughing. And I kind of went like, I think this is what I want to do. I think I want to share whatever it is that makes me able to make people laugh and feel good. I want to share this. This feels special. This feels like a gift. And my father had it. My mom had it. My siblings have it. I don't know how much of it is tied into being Irish, but I feel so grateful that I have this gift, and to share it makes me feel really good. And I guess the podcast is part of that. I love that you guys tune in and somehow take something away from this that makes you come back. And thank you. God, it's been 11 years, maybe 12. I think it might be 12 years. I got to check. Sarah Silverman was my first guest with Todd Glass. I'll never forget that. Anyway, what else have I been doing? I read a couple scripts. I had a couple friends write scripts. They sent them to me. I read them. One was great. One was not that strong. And I told them both they were good, gave them both a bunch of notes. And I realized I got to write another script. Then I have an idea. And I think it's a good idea. So I'm kind of excited. I need a project. I've lost focus. I come to this office every day. I don't do shit. Just fucking sit here. I'm going to be going to Tampa on Thursday. By the way, if you're in Tampa, the 19th through the 21st of November, I'll be at Side Splitters. Go to my website for tickets. It's going to be fun. Social distancing, masks, safety, and laughter all together. I'm going to be alone in a hotel room for a few days. That's going to feel nice. I love my family, but everybody needs a few days in a hotel room once in a while. That's not so bad. We got, it was my turn to do dinner last night, and I kind of copped out. I went down the street, and there's this thing called street meat in LA, where these guys, Mexican guys, will just set up a fucking table, and they got the big spit with the big thing of pork on it and a grill, and they make tacos and burritos, and it's super cheap. It's like $1 for a taco. You get like 4 of them, and there's no hygiene. There's no running water. There's no inspection. I can't imagine why the city hasn't shut these places down. And I don't know how I have not gotten sick. I eat there all the time. It's so fucking good. They've got all kinds of mystery meats in this big bowl that's boiling. They've got beef and pork and parts of a cow that you would never think to eat. And I tried different. I always ask them for a different one each time. And I always forget the names, but anyway, so that was dinner last night. My mom is coming out. My son comes home on Monday, and my mom comes out on Monday. She's coming from Florida. So I think I've talked about this. Everybody's getting quarantined in the back. Me, my mom, and my son will all be in the back house, camped out, staying away from everybody for a few days till we get tested. And we're just going to play a lot of golf. There's a 9-hole course near my house called Penmar that's real good. And there was a homeless encampment all along the second hole. The entire length of the second hole and the first hole were tents that were not just like, thrown together. There was like tents where they would get plywood and put it on the sides. One of them had a fucking door. It had a functioning door with hinges, with tarps on top of it. Like, it became like a shanty town. And the city came in and they put in porta potties because I guess there was a lot of defecation in the area. And there's people that live across the street. So it became a big thing in Venice where there's homeless people all over Venice. And there's tents. And there's a lot of compassion. There's a lot of people that try to reach out, bring them meals. people donate money so they can get these little showers, these trucks that have showers in them, and they station them at different places by Venice Beach, and the homeless can show up and they get a shower. There's a group that we work with. We buy groceries and we drop it off at People Concern, and they also have showers there for people, and they prepare meals. Anyway, they cleared out this homeless encampment, and I said, Jesus Christ, how is that possible to get rid of? I counted, there was 75 tents, and I looked into it, and apparently they housed them all. They looked into, some of them had families or friends that they reached out to, that they helped sort of like bring people together again. They gave people coupons for motels. They brought some people into drug treatment centers. But they resolved the problem, and that's what it's going to take. But what it's going to really take is permanent housing and getting people off the street into a real apartment where they can shower, get a decent set of clothes so they can go in for a job interview and not have to pay first and last month's rent and security deposit. Because some of these people have fucking jobs and they're living in tents because it's so expensive to live out here. And so it was weird. I'd be playing golf and there was and I'd hit my ball to the left by the chain link fence, and I'd be about 5 feet away from a bunch of people in a tent. And I'd be like, have you guys seen my ball? I lost my ball. And they're like, I lost my house. I was like, got it. I'll drop another one. Anyway, all right, let's get to it. Big guest today, Tig Notaro is on the show. And that's going to be fun. Oh, I got an ad. I got my ad to read? No, I'll do that later. I also want to give a shout out to Bart Hopkins, who made me a beautiful piece of art. I should hold it up. Shouldn't I hold it up right now? You can go to my website, go to fitzdog.com, and you can see this beautiful piece of art. Bart Hopkins does a thing called driftwood mosaics, and he takes pieces of driftwood and he crafts different tiles and these amazing pieces of art. And they're super cheap. They're really affordable. So you can go to his website, go to my website, and there's a link to his, and you can get yourself some driftwood mosaics, driftwoodmosaics.com. And he sent me a beautiful piece. It's on my wall. Also, don't forget my T-shirts. We're announcing today the Grapefruit Simmons T-shirts on sale through the holidays. Perfect gift as the holiday season approaches. 10% off the T-shirts. They're normally $20, and now they're whatever 10% off of that is. And enjoy that discount through the holidays. That's for you. That's because I care about you. And we just got a new shipment of shirts, and we're trying to move them, baby. Letters, we always appreciate. If you want to mail me at fitzdog@gmail.com, you can. Read them all. Reply to everybody. I'm proud of that. I never let people down. This comes from Megan Daly Scott. Hey, man, you mentioned meditating. I think you do TM. If not, burn this. But wanted to give you a heads up. We got trained a few months ago, and since COVID, they've been doing these 2 times a day group meditations over the phone. Well, actually over Zoom. Bob Roth, who I guess runs the David Lynch Foundation, leads them, and this is great. You would like good vibes. Anyway, I did that. I got that email at like 4:58, and there was a 5 o'clock Zoom meditation, and I tuned in, and it made me feel so fucking good. So now every day I'm getting on a Zoom thing with David Lynch's foundation. And if you're not doing meditation during the pandemic, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's real easy. You can get an app that helps you meditate, whatever it takes, 10 minutes a day. It's going to make you feel a lot better. This is a feel-good podcast. Then I got a nice email from my old buddy, Tio from Ireland, guy that I met when I was over there when I was 18. Drank with him in Cork City for a month, and then we traveled for another couple months, and he left school and traveled, hitchhiked up the coast with me and my buddy Sneaky Pete. And I haven't talked to this guy in fucking 20 years. 15 years. 15? No. God, yeah, maybe maybe anyway, he found me. He's been listening to the podcast. He reached out to me, and he's watched me on YouTube. And then we emailed back and forth a little bit, and so great to be in touch with him through the internet. I've asked people to help me out during the quarantine of things to watch on TV. I did. Somebody recommended the Eric Andre show, which I'd seen a little bit, and I dove deep. You go to Hulu, and they've got all 6 seasons, or however many seasons it is. It's fucking brilliant. It's punk rock. It is the spirit of punk rock mixed with comedy. And the guy is just fearless, funny, free, ferocious. So good. He had Howie Mandel on. He brings famous guests on, and they don't know what they're in for. They think they're doing a regular talk show. And then all of a sudden a naked guy comes out, and his dick is next to the guest's head, and then a midget pops out from under his desk, and then mice start nibbling at the feet of the guest. Crazy shit happens. Howie Mandel could not handle it. But you know who could? Pauly D from Jersey Shore. And they also turn the heat up to like 105, so the guests are all drenched in sweat, and they all take their like coats off, and Pauly D hung. He was good. T.I. could not hang, was not down with it. He almost punched him in the face. He's got to get punched in the face a lot on this show. Unbelievable. Also, someone recommended Patriot. Fucking awesome show. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a drama, but funny also. It's like a kind of a Wes Anderson feel. Almost a little bit of a Coen Brothers mixed in. You'll love it. Also, a guy named Zach Fitzsimmons said that I think you should leave sketch... I Think You Should Leave, which is a sketch show by Tim Robinson on Netflix. Check that out. And Documental, Japanese comedy show on Prime. Created by the legend Hitoshi Matsumoto. 10 comedians pay a participation fee of 1 million yen to enter a room together for 6 hours. The only rule is if you laugh, you lose. It's hilarious and totally insane. All right, I'm going to check that out. Also recommends Mike Tyson's Mysteries. Okay. Casey Rogers says that Kingdom, the show Kingdom, I don't know what that's on. And also The Last Narc on Amazon. I watched all the Narcos shows. He's saying that this is the real story behind Narcos Season 3. I believe Season 3 was the one they did in Mexico. It was about the pot, not the coke. It was about the pot. And eventually the coke. Spoiler alert. Let's do a Say What? Say what? Here's some things that you hear your grandparents say, older people say, and we don't want to lose these phrases, these little colloquialisms. So we pass them on to you. Maybe you incorporate them into your regular conversation. This one comes from Adam Copeland. My grandfather, when ordering a steak rare, he would often tell the server, just cripple it and run it through here. I like that. Although if it's veal, it's already crippled, I think. I remember Anthony Clark he said that his father would say, just wipe its ass, knock off its horns, and put it on the table. That's rare. Ooh, that's rare. This is an overheard from Jackie Lawrence, who says, my husband was explaining to our 5-year-old son about how pizzas are made. He gets to the part where you add the salami and how it comes in big tube-like shape and needs to be sliced. My son asks why the salami needs to be sliced. My husband says it's because you don't want a big salami in your mouth. I give my husband a raised eyebrow. Side eye. What's better than a little double entendre from a kid where you get to look at your spouse? Raised eyebrow, side eye. All right, let's get to it. My guest today is an old, dear friend, super talented. She's had quite a roller coaster ride in this business. She is lived through the death of her mother at the same time that she was diagnosed with breast cancer, plus another ailment, and she got through it all. It was a mastectomy, double mastectomy. Anyway, she wrote a book about it, did a documentary about it. She did a series on Amazon. She has become one of the biggest touring comics in the country. She's got her podcast called Don't Ask Tig and another one. Lived in my neighborhood in Venice for a lot of years. Used to hang out. And anyway, she's become famous and taken it on very gracefully. She is the same person she always was. You can't say that about a lot of people. She's a very grounded person. She's very, very actualized. And I just love being around her. I think this is like her fourth time on the podcast. So here it is. This is a talk. I actually talked to her 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I'm just putting it on now. And I hope you enjoy it. Here's Tig Notaro. Welcome to the interview discussion chat section of Fitzdog Radio. As always, we have a guest. In a perfect case scenario, it's somebody who is a professional and also is a friend of mine. Today, Tig Notaro is both. I miss her. We're in lonely times, but we have podcasting. Welcome.
Greg, do you miss me?
I do miss you. I don't see you. I'm always happy when I see you. It's so rare.
It is rare.
Yeah.
And I love seeing you do stand-up. I love chatting with you, whether it's on a podcast, off a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny when you have a shared history with people and you know them when they were struggling and when you were struggling. And
I never struggled. I never struggled.
You never looked like you were struggling. That was the beautiful part. Everybody else was like, wow, Tig is really struggling. And you were like,
I'm really not.
I'm on really good medication. I am just floating through this right now. That's the key, I think. There's certain people in Hollywood that never look like Jeff Ross. Have you ever seen Jeff Ross get ruffled or not be completely relaxed?
I guess that's true. I haven't spent a lot of time with Jeff Ross.
Yeah.
But I probably haven't seen him ruffled.
Yeah.
I guess you can't in his roast master seat. You probably have to be a cool customer.
Yes. If you get unruffled on a roast, it's so ugly. I've seen it happen. Well, President Trump is president today, I'm convinced, because Obama roasted him in front of the whole press corps. Did you see that?
Yeah, but wait, what are you going to say? You're convinced?
He was so upset. He was so humiliated by Trump doing that to him. He was so unable to take a joke that he decided to become president and undo everything that Obama had done.
And he's done it.
Everything but Obamacare, and that's going to happen probably right after the election. Who's
going to win?
I still like Kanye. I mean, people aren't talking about it, but you know, it's one of those things where you do it as a goof. You go in and you go, I'm gonna vote for Kanye, and then at like 1 a.m. and he wins, and you're like, fuck, what did I do?
Yeah, he's got a pretty good chance of getting in there, I think.
Yeah.
People, all those lines at the, all the voters are lining up for Kanye, no doubt. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, if he can just keep it together.
Oh, and he can.
Yeah.
And he can.
Yeah. If we can catch the right cycle, I think he'll be okay. Well, I don't want to get into politics because you know what? Everyone's sick of it. I'm sick of, I can't stop reading about it, and yet I don't want to talk about it. It's like a masturbation for me. It's like a painful, shameful, like, why am I following this? It doesn't make me happy.
I know. I've had to make a conscious effort to just move away from the news in general.
Right.
And I mean, I check in and I watch the debates and do all that and make sure that I know all the big things that I need to know.
Right.
And then I try to get back to life.
Well, it helps when you have little kids. You got two boys. I remember Finn. Finn is my favorite of your two kids.
How dare you? Max. There's Max.
And Max. Okay. Yeah.
Max cusses like a sailor.
Does he really?
Well, I guess not too bad, but it's pretty cute. We can't bring ourselves to correct him. Is
he creative about it, or is it just when he gets angry?
No, it's not. He'll just he'll be doing something and he'll say anywhere from shit to fucking shit to hell, Jesus Christ. He has these what are they called? Whatever, like, he has a calculator, kind of a large calculator that his grandfather gave him, and he uses that as his laptop, and he makes orders for toys all day
long. That's amazing.
On this calculator, and he'll walk up to our front window of the house and he'll look out and say, "Where the hell is my package?" Or he'll be watching a cartoon and he'll get so into it and excited and he'll be laughing, and then he'll turn to me and he'll say, "What the hell is that guy doing?" And, he's 4. It's just, there's no part of us that can bring ourselves to tell him.
And he's never going to need to know, because who knows if he'll be around other kids again.
Yeah, no.
It's just going to be you guys. You're going to be his best friends growing up.
That's right.
Do the boys get along?
Oh, yeah, they get along really well. And then, somebody bops someone on the head and they don't share. But
right.
We've recently done the, special time with me, special time with Stephanie, and give them time apart.
Right.
And take a walk or go to the store to get something. And it's pretty cute because they miss the other one. Aww. And then they want to get a treat for the other one that's at home.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really heartwarming.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Well, you guys are so good with them. I remember being at a party with you and you had the boys, and a lot of times people go to a party and they just kind of ignore their kid, and you were more ignoring the guests and just like having fun. And then you gave me Finn. That's why Finn's my favorite.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I got to pick him up and play with him for a long time. And he's the one with the red hair, right?
He has blonde hair.
Yeah.
Max, here, I'll show you a picture over Zoom of them these days.
Oh, Max is in the Batman costume?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So he's got the red hair. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I think look at that.
Finn did have red hair, but he turned more blonde.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, now I remember the special day that you spent with Finn at the party.
Yeah.
Is that the last time I saw you?
It was the last time you were on the podcast, I came to your house. I guess it was your previous house.
Yeah.
And they were very small then. So the party was since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you were living in a compound with your in-laws were across the street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was in a cool little neighborhood. And
my brother-in-law was in the guest house in the back.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we moved over here to get out of the hills because it's so hard to walk.
Right.
Small children up and down hills.
Yeah. There's no sidewalks there, right?
No.
Yeah.
So we moved to a sidewalk area.
You have a little yard in the back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trampoline?
Yeah, we have a trampoline inside. We have one of those little tiny exercise trampolines. And my kids are pure muscle. They watch cartoons and jump on the trampoline. It's when I hug them, it's really a crazy feeling how they are just cut muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And core strength. It's all core. It's like
apparently that's the best exercise is that kind of thing is trampolining. Yeah.
And I watched this video. It was an exercise class, and it was a kid, probably about 4, who the whole class was 6 people, and they were on this big lawn, and you had to do physically whatever the kid did. So if he ran and kicked the ball, you had to pretend you were kicking a ball. If he jumped up and down, and people were exhausted after 10 minutes. They couldn't keep up.
This was a video you were watching?
Yeah, there's a video on, I don't know, YouTube.
And were you doing it to?
No, God, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I take a daily walk for like 30 or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And when I say daily, I probably do it 5 days a week, but I do that and stretch my legs a bit, but I would say I'm on the lower end, probably more than most people. Probably a lot of people are not moving too much, but as far as exercisers, I'm on the low end.
Right.
I don't have a gym membership, and I don't, I just don't do anything other than take a walk.
They say walking is actually the best exercise you can do. Mm-hmm. Running, like I run and then I can't run because after a week and a half, my knee or my ankle starts to hurt so much that I can't do it anymore. And then I stop everything. But like I take these walks sometimes, and a friend of mine is into long walks. So we go to Brentwood. He lives in Brentwood, and we walk to the beach and back again, which is like 7 or 8 miles. And
what kind of friend is this?
Well, Judd Apatow. You know Judd.
Yes. Long walks on the beach with Judd Apatow.
And I'm pitching him shows the entire time. He hates it. And but like Jews like to walk. I think it comes from that desert thing they did, the 40-day desert walk. Have you heard of that workout program they did?
I did. I heard all about that. There's a video of it on YouTube. Real-time video.
Right. I think it's called Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah. How often do you and Judd take your little romantic stroll? Oh,
once a week. Yeah.
Where is your son going to college?
He's in Chicago.
Wow. How is that?
It's hard. He's a really, really good kid. He's like, both my kids love babies, and they will play with little kids for hours. And they're just kind, and he's the guy, like every one of his friends is like, Owen is the nicest person of all of our friends. And he's, he was a jock. He was a big soccer player. He was going to play D1 soccer. And then he decided he just didn't want to do the 40 hours a week of, training and traveling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I miss him. We used to work out together every day, and we'd go play tennis and we'd go skateboard. It was it's like losing a really good friend. And
yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds hard.
It's hard, but I'm proud of him. And, he's in Chicago, even though he's online. His classes are all online, but he wanted to be with his buddies. So they got like a six bedroom house, and they keep it tight. They keep it quarantined.
Oh, good.
They all really get along, and they're, pretty artistic, a few of the kids. And so it stays interesting. And yeah.
And what do you suppose made Owen such a nice kid?
His mom. He's got his mom's personality.
Yeah.
My daughter's got mine, and I mean, they look like clones. Well, I'll show you their pictures. Here's them. I have their class pictures starting from when they were in kindergarten, and then going all the way up until high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she looks like me, and she's got my personality, the good parts and the bad parts. She's definitely more artistic and funny, and she's kind of deep. Do you see real differences in your kids' personalities at this point?
Oh my gosh. Since they were infants, and they're basically the same people. I feel like I know it because when we sleep trained them, I slept in the room when they were screaming.
Yeah.
And they were at an age where they could stand up and look out of their cribs. And I was sleeping on the single bed in the room. And I remember Finn's scream was very much like, where did you go? You better get me out of this. It was like that. Whereas Max's response, like, and Finn sounded like, ah! And Max's was like, ah, ah, you know, just like, where did you go? This is the worst. And their personalities are exactly like that.
They've stayed in that same
completely
mindset. Yeah.
When they are upset, Finn is on his tippy toes screaming at you. And then and Max is just, nobody cares about me or what I want to watch right now. No one listens to me. That's his personality. We always call him Charlie Brown.
That's hilarious. He sounds like an old man who's just been married for too long.
Yeah, he's like, I got a rock, you know, when Charlie opens his gift.
And Finn is Lucy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Lucy had the explosive rage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, it's nothing is different. And I can just track it all back to that sleep training.
Yeah.
Where it was so heartbreaking in very different ways.
Right.
That panicked scream to that deep sorrow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's interesting. It is interesting. Where does your inner life begin as a human being? Because like each of their perceptions of the world and the way they engage with the world it's genetic. You know, there's so much. I think as parents today, we put so much pressure on ourselves to read the right books and, you know, I'm doing, you know, Maslow training and she's doing Reggio training and all that stuff. And so many of the studies say it's genetics. Mm-hmm. You really are kind of born and you know, you just react to however the neurons in your brain are set up.
Yeah, it seems like, especially raising twins, they're getting the same experience for the most part, and they're just completely different people. Right. Just completely different. And
are they aligned with your personalities and Stephanie's?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we have our kids. Right. But they are, I used to always say before I had kids that what I was looking for and hoping for in children would be for anyone that met them to walk away and say, oh my gosh, you got to go talk to that kid. Yeah. Just that feeling of, it's hilarious. Go talk to him. Right. And I feel like we get both of that with them. Yeah. Finn has this little, I guess it's a stutter, but it's a stutter. He'll stutter sometimes on his words, but his voice goes up high, and he'll say, "We shouldn't go outside today. It's very hot. It's very hot today. We shouldn't go out." And it's just the funniest thing in the world. And then Max is over there like, where the hell is my package? You know, like you said, just a 40-year-old guy that's been married for 40, whatever you said.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're so funny.
Yeah. I remember when Owen, you always wonder, like, as a man, you really do think, is my son going to be tough? And you can try to be evolved about it and all that stuff, but you really do want your son to be able to take care of himself physically. So me and Jim Brewer were doing a show down in San Diego. We did a college and we spent the night. And then the next day we went to SeaWorld, and there was like a little playground that had these rubber mushroom pods, and it was a rubber mat underneath. And Owen was a redhead, and he was fiery, and he came out, and he got on a toadstool, and then or a mushroom, and this other kid came over and he pushed him off, and then the kid walked away. And Owen was probably 2.5, and he got up, and he with his little shaking, chased the guy, chased him, dove on top of him, and just held him down. And there's a part of me that should have jumped up and broken it up, but I was like,
he's gonna be all right.
He's gonna be all right, you know. And he turned out to be the opposite. He's like, he's the last guy that would ever hit somebody.
Yeah, I don't know how my kids would do in that situation with a stranger, because between them, you know, they're dynamic. They'll ask for and grab for whatever they want. But I remember being at a park with them once, and this little old girl walked up and grabbed a car out of Finn's hand, and it was his car that he'd walked around with in his hand all the time. And he just looked at her, and he was stunned, and he didn't really do much.
Right.
And so that was interesting. And then they very much have each other's backs, where if one of them bops the other in the head or doesn't share, will reprimand the head bopper or the non-sharing one. And then the other one will yell at us for reprimanding their brother.
Right. Wow.
So, yeah, it does not fly with them. We cannot reprimand one.
They're like, we got this.
Yeah. If we try and put one in timeout, the other one's like, you can't do that with my brother. He would be very sad, you know. And Max is like, I don't want to be in timeout. No, this is boring.
Yeah, there is like a Lord of the Flies aspect to it, especially when you got two boys, where maybe you just go like, here's the keys, guys. Lock up when you're done.
Yeah.
Figure it out. You know, you're going to have some fights. Somebody's going to win, and they'll establish dominance, and then that'll be the dominant one. And you know,
we do try and say that for the most part is you guys have to figure it out.
Yeah.
For the most part, if it escalates, and they do typically work it out, and sometimes it takes a while. But
yeah,
if somebody is not hurt, we try to say, well, that's why you have to share or take turns or figure it out, because I don't know where that is, or I don't know what happened. I don't know who had it first.
Right. Right.
So, you know, they try and work it out.
Yeah. I feel for you. I mean, it's got to be so tough having kids that age. They you know, these are crucial socializing ages, and to not
they have each other, you know.
Yeah. No, that's great.
I mean,
you have like a pod of people you feel safe with, so they can play with other kids?
You know, we did that for a beat, and then I just kind of, I just didn't feel like I needed to kind of wait and see how this new surge was going to go. And, but they're very much, they've oddly been on the same page with their fixations and obsessions. And right now it is Legos, and it is superhero Legos. Right. And so if you try and show them a superhero cartoon, it has to be superhero cartoon Legos. Okay. It has to be Lego. Yeah. And they both build them all day long, and then when it's TV time at the end of the day, they just watch superhero Legos. Oh my God. And they do it together all day. Yeah. And Stephanie's father is coming out to quarantine. Her mother will quarantine, and the boys' godparents will quarantine and come spend time with us. And we're going to quarantine and go see her mother for Halloween. And nice. Her father's going to quarantine and come live with us for like 6 months. So, Yeah, which he's done before. And we call them the triplets because there's no difference between the three of them. And he rolls around, he's 65, 66. He rolls around on the floor with them all day long.
That's so great.
They're very excited for Papa Grande's arrival.
Papa Grande. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So there's stuff I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
I just played golf and I was thinking, don't you golf, or didn't you golf at a certain point?
No, I look like I probably golf. I don't.
Have you ever golfed?
I mean, putt-putt golf, goofy golf, whatever it's called. Right. No. You wanted to talk to me about golf? You have me on here for golf?
Well, I thought we would do a roundup of the top 20 PGA players and then get into what kind of backswing you're using and really break it down.
I look handy. I look like a golfer. I look like all of those things, but I'm just not. I'm just not. I love music and documentaries and taking a walk, and that's about it.
I just watched that documentary about social media, The Social Dilemma.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that.
Oh my God, it's pretty heavy. It's something that I made my daughter watch because it really, we all know we live in our own little bubbles that we've created of like-minded Twitter followings, and your feed is made up of, but you don't realize how much Facebook and Twitter has a file on you. They've got an algorithm and they feed you droplets of endorphins at a regular pace. They can sense when you're getting bored because you're not watching for as long. And it's crazy. And it's all about stretching out engagement. And now you give it to a kid like my daughter. You can't limit it because it's on their fucking phone, which is in their pocket. And it buzzes with notifications. And and it is really...
See, I don't get notifications.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I did at one point. I thought, oh, how great that I could get notifications about this thing or that thing. And then I realized that I would much prefer to seek information as I want it, rather than be inundated.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I've actually been doing a podcast with Cheryl Hines from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Right.
About documentaries, and we're kind of new into it, but we're watching a documentary every week, and that's one that we definitely want to check out.
Which ones have you done already?
We did The Staircase.
Oh yeah.
We did.
Guilty or not guilty?
I think guilty.
It's 50-50, I think, for people.
What do you think?
I think guilty.
How
Only
many
because
people
he did it before.
I was going to say, how many people have to fall down stairs? And then also, I just feel like if I walked in and Stephanie was in a pool of blood, I would not think that she fell down the stairs. I would think there was a murderer in my house.
Right.
And that didn't even cross his mind. He just was like, oh. And then he called 911. That was the most bizarre thing to me, that he wasn't like, somebody slammed her in the head. Somebody's in my house.
Yeah.
And then Cheryl was saying what she found odd was that when he called 911, he just said, my wife fell, hurry. And she said, if my husband fell, I would stay on the phone saying, what do I do? How do I, and obviously you can project what you would do in all these different situations, and you never know how you'll react.
Yeah, the whole timeline, it doesn't seem like he called right away. He talked about that they went out back and they have a pool, and they sat by the pool, he said, for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And talked, had a chat.
Yeah.
Who fucking chats with their spouse for 3.5 hours? And they're 20 years into a marriage. Give me a break.
Well, if they drank as much as he said they drank,
that's right. That's right.
That could get into boozy chit chat. which,
Yeah.
Those kind of people that sit by a pool and drink for hours on end. And I can see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about the drinking.
Yeah. It sounds like if they were that tipsy,
Yeah.
the evening could potentially go on. I don't know.
Literally, she tipped down the stairs.
Yes. But then there's the owl theory.
Yeah.
Which I just don't buy. I got a lot of emails when I said that I didn't think an owl killed her.
Yeah, I know.
But
it's like the third shooter in the grassy knoll.
Mm-hmm.
Second shooter.
Second shooter. Yeah. But
what about Tiger King? Guilty or innocent? The woman.
Well, again, it's just and we did Tiger King as well. Cheryl knew the director and he came on, but yeah, I mean, I guess I just don't understand the casualness of the guy whose wife fell down the stairs or Carol Baskin's husband missing. And how do you deliver things with, I mean, what am I going to stick his hand down that's what Cheryl pointed out, is her delivery is kind of laughing like, how am I going to cut him up? I'm going to stick his fist, and his fist doesn't even stick or fit in the meat grinder.
Yeah.
Again, if Stephanie was missing, I would not ever deliver something in that manner. Right.
You would be dead serious.
And I would be devastated. And we have kids together. And I remember at the end of the staircase, what I found very off as well, that I thought, I can't imagine speaking like that. When he's sitting there on the staircase in the movie and he's talking to his kids, and he says, well, my attorney, he says he's not going to stick with me anymore. So what do you say? Should I just bail on this or what? I don't want to drive everyone crazy. And if my attorney up and left, I would be like, oh my gosh, you can't leave. I'm innocent. I can't. Yeah. And I feel like I would be talking to my kids like, oh my gosh, I'm scared for me. I'm scared for us. I'm scared for, I have to he knows my case so well. Right. And we're so close to, it just was like, so what should I do?
And the kids were so supportive. It was crazy.
Well, I had one kid that
there was one that did. Yeah.
That was like, I don't know about this. It wasn't
but the other ones, it was just so weird. It was like so dispassionate. It was like they were doing a case about a neighbor's fence being too high, not about him killing the mother.
Yeah.
And I listened to your guys, your other podcast. What is it? Don't Ask Tig?
Yes. That I don't do with Cheryl.
No, but I listened to the one that she was your guest.
Oh, yeah.
And that was fantastic. So I haven't had a chance to listen to the new one, but you guys together are really fun. You really get a kick out of each other. And it's a good chemistry. So I look forward to.
Do you know Cheryl?
I've never met her. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She's great. I mean, we met so many years ago and she she took me around town. She had her husband sign me. He managed me. And then she took me to every major agency trying to get somebody to sign me. And they just all looked past me and just talked to Cheryl. And she was like, this is so frustrating. They don't care.
Does he represent you?
No. He signed me because his wife liked me so much. Yeah. But yeah, she saw me do stand up and then had me deliver my VHS tapes at her house the following day.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So, but we just hit it off right away and really amuse each other.
Yeah. It's a good idea for, have you seen the series with Fred Armisen and
I haven't.
Documentary Now? Oh my God. You guys have to cover those episodes. Those guys are so Why am I forgetting the other guy's name? From SNL.
I don't know. I know
You know
of
what I'm
the.
talking about, right?
Yeah. I know of the show, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Fred Armisen's on it, but I don't think I could guess who the other person
Can't
is.
remember the name of the other guy, but yeah, check that out.
I'm
You'll
sure
love
this is
that.
a real flattering moment for him.
I know. And he's also got another show on HBO that's really brilliant. Anyway, other things I want to get into. There's a thing called Say What that we do on the podcast, and it's based on the fact that, I mean, you have Irish background, I'm assuming.
I do have.
Isn't O'Callahan your middle name?
Yes, sir.
So I thought you'd like this because a lot of this comes from Irish people, and it's the sayings that like your grandparents or your uncle or somebody says that I feel like we're losing these expressions.
Mm-hmm.
So people send them in and we read them.
Okay.
And we're hoping to introduce them back into your vernacular. People can use them as they see fit.
I can't wait.
It's fun. This one's from Kyle Bergner. My wife and I just celebrated our first wedding anniversary and are expecting our first child. Since we've been married, I've noticed she's become more open about shit and fart jokes and shit talk in general. Big hurdle, big step, I think, in getting close. When either of us have to take a dump, we say, quote, I've got to file some papers. Not sure when this started, but it has become the standard in our household. Now that's one, can't wait to say it to my wife. I'm going to go file some papers. That's a laugh right there.
And do you tell her, or do you actually leave the room and just say, I'm going to go file some papers, and then let her think that you're going off to do some office work, and then she catches a whiff of the, how does this work? Yeah.
No, I think that's the way you do it. I think you lay it down and you walk away from it, and you let them solve the crime. That's exactly right. Yeah. And then once they've done that, now it's a button you go to every time. Now I'm going to go file some papers. Boom. I mean, there's a lot of phrases for going to the bathroom. I'm not going to get into them because this is a high-end show.
I have to go potty is one of them.
I have to go potty.
I have to go number 2. I have to go number 1. I've heard all of them.
Drop a deuce is my standard. I still go with that.
Well, of course, there's also drop a couple kids off at the pool.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
There's drowning. There's some with drowning. I should have looked them up. This is from Dennis Gorman. My parents were South Side of Chicago Irish. When asked one time to describe his battle axe mother, he said, quote, she was shanty Irish from the back of the yards.
Ooh.
I love that.
I picture some rabid dogs running around there as well.
Yeah, he's on a chain. It's always he's on the chain that's just short of where you run away from him.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you seen that in a movie? The rabid dog on the chain. You jump over a fence, you're running from somebody, and then the dog comes at you.
Especially in a cartoon.
Yes. Yeah, and the dog stays on the chain growling at you on 2 legs until you get halfway up the fence to get out. Then suddenly he gets loose.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I've seen that show.
Yeah. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
And then you end up filing some papers as you run from the dog.
A lot of paperwork coming out of your trunk.
A lot of paperwork on the way, getting away from that dog.
You're a virtual accountant at that point.
Exactly. Crunching numbers is what I'd call it.
I got to go crunch some numbers, honey. You make some popcorn?
Where are you? Crunching numbers.
She comes in, you're sitting on the toilet, you got one of those green visors on.
Using Max's calculator.
I'm ordering toys.
Ordering Legos.
Have they been to Legoland yet?
No, we were about to go, and then this pandemic.
You need to videotape that because that's going to be nirvana for those two.
Oh my gosh. Finn had to go to, we couldn't say an eye doctor we had to say eye specialist because he'll do his high pitched, so Stephanie took him to an eye specialist, and afterwards, she said she would take him somewhere to get a treat. And so there was a Target nearby, and she took him in there, and he had not been in a store in months. And I mean, she said it might as well have been Legoland when he walked into Target.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she said he went absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, Target is visually, it's childlike. I think they designed this store with the aesthetic of like, it's the big Target, it's red and white, everything is laid out in a kind of playful way.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like Trader Joe's is the same way. It's very child friendly.
Yeah.
They even have a thing, I don't know if you know about this, this is perfect for their age, is Trader Joe's hides a stuffed bear somewhere in the store on one of the shelves. And if your child finds it, you bring it up and they give them candy.
I did not know that.
Every Trader Joe's has a little hidden bear somewhere.
Wow. Why is that not more widely known?
Well,
why isn't it not like welcome to Trader Joe's?
It's sponsored by QAnon, so I think a lot of people don't know about it yet.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, but it's
the QAnon bear.
The QAnon bear. It's how they, it's how they see if there are people abducting kids. This is how they find them. All right, our next game, and then I'm going to let you go, is called Rank 'em. I'm going to give you 3 things. You're going to rank them.
Okay.
In no particular, I won't give you your agenda of how you do it. You can do it in any way you want, but you got to rank.
That's how I do everything, Greg.
On your own agenda?
Yeah, yeah.
Typical liberal. Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama.
I would say in that exact order.
Oh. Interesting.
How would you rank them?
I've never been to Mississippi. So I have to put Mississippi first because I have a sense of wonder about it, from reading Mark Twain and, just seeing what's gone on there over the years. I know it's beautiful, but it has a dark side. And so I kind of want to go to, and you're from Mississippi. That's
correct.
Another big point. And I watched your show, One Mississippi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you love it?
I did love it. I thought it was very, you captured a mood. I like when a show comes on and I haven't seen a show like it before. It just sets out and says, here, it's like Baskets is like that. Here's like a vision I'm having and a tone that I want to set, and it stays in it. I thought it was a very, very singular show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Judd Apatow produced it.
No, he didn't.
No. I was doing a callback.
We take long walks. That probably would have come up. Here's the next one. MAGA hats, pogo sticks, anal beads. Rank them.
Well, pogo sticks would be number 1.
Yeah.
They always are, no matter what list.
No matter what the rank 'em list is, it goes to the top. Hops its way to the top.
And so I don't need to tell you my reasoning, right? I'm just going to say the order. Oh, okay. Pogo sticks, anal beads, and MAGA hats.
Yeah. Right.
How would you rank them?
I would go anal beads because I've never tried them, and like Mississippi, I'm kind of like curious. I'm bead curious, you could say.
Bead cure.
Bead cure. That's what's on my Instagram header. Bead cure. All right, last one. Brother, grandmother, best friend. Do you have a grandmother still alive?
No. I don't have a grandmother. I don't have a parent. I don't have anything, Greg.
Thanks for coming to Fitzdog Radio. Tig Notaro has been, no.
I would have been thrilled if you ended right there. Why didn't you go through the whole way?
I guess she is the best. She is in the weeds with kids. She's defining herself through podcasting right now. A smile that could sail 1,000 ships.
And it has.
And it has.
Yeah.
Where did they go? Where did those ships go?
I don't know. They're out to sea.
Yeah.
They're out to sea.
And it's like that song, Mandy, you're a fine girl.
My cousin was named after that song.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, what's I can't remember the name. Was it Mandy?
No, it's Brandy.
Brandy, you're a fine. I always thought, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. But my love, my life, and my lady is the sea.
Is the sea.
Now, first of all, he sings about what an amazing woman she is, you know? And,
yeah.
And it's like, is she really that amazing? I've been to the sea, and it fucking sucks. You get no showering. The guy is sleeping in a bunk bed. He's swabbing the deck. He's making no money. And that's better than Brandy?
Well, yeah, you haven't met Brandy.
That's what
it's not to say he has had great options. You know, maybe Brandy's the best one he's come across, and she's still clearly not that great.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
And it feels pointless to write a song for her. Why not just write a song for the sea? Why bring Brandy into this?
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
Yeah. Yeah. She was clearly a passing one-night stand, and you're fixated on it. I think it should be, ocean, you're a fine body of water. What a good sea you would be. That's
really good, Greg. Now, before we go, since you mentioned, or not that this is my podcast, but you said I'm defining myself by podcasts these days?
Yes.
I'll have you know, I just shot an action film. Also, I'm on the new Star Trek show, Star Trek Discovery, streaming now.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
That's exciting. Wait
but here's something more exciting.
Yeah.
I just filmed an action movie.
Really?
And you're not going to believe what I thought. It was insane that they hired me.
Uh-huh.
I think this is my future. You ready for your mind to be blown?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's amazing!
Isn't that insane?
What's the tank on your back?
And then look how Tom Cruise I am here. It's a gas tank.
Whoa. With the headphones around the neck.
I know.
The shit's about to get loud.
This is the last thing I'm going to show you.
I should describe this for the people that are only listening and not watching. She is in full lethal weapon gear.
Ammunition across my chest, a gas, like a big rectangular gas tank strapped to my back, a machine gun, a pistol on my thigh.
Arms looking brawny.
Yeah, smoking a cigar. This is a still from the movie that I'm hoping they'll let me use as my next album cover, and I'm going to call it Mother of Two.
Oh my God, that is right out of Mad Max. That's amazing. With the new wave haircut. Was that your real hair, or did they add stuff to that?
That's my real hair, and I cut it during COVID myself.
Wow. That is
not bad, right?
Yeah, Johnny Rotten. Nice.
Actually, somebody said the same thing recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on, that movie's called Army of the Dead, and I'm on the CBS show Star Trek Discovery, and I was just going to show you that picture.
Oh, so it's a series. You're on the Star Trek series.
Yeah, Commander Jet Reno. They let me name myself, and I named myself after Joan Jett.
Cool.
But it does sound like Janet Reno, I know. But
is there humor to it, or are you playing straight drama here?
I'm the comedic relief.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. I wish I could find a picture because you can edit this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here. This is me on Star Trek.
Oh, beautiful. I love the lighting.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice.
But anyway, so I'm podcasting, but I'm also oddly veering into action, outer space, and zombie films.
That's fun. That's really fun.
Didn't see it coming.
Are you able to shoot the Star Trek thing with the quarantine going on?
Well, I'm just a recurring character on Star Trek, and it's in Toronto, and I didn't feel safe flying, so I forfeited some work there.
Oh.
And but the other chunk of work is supposed to be in May, and so hopefully I'll feel a little. Hopefully things will be in better shape with the pandemic in May, and if not, I'll just drive out there probably.
Yeah, well, I guess you got to be careful. You're compromised, as they say.
Well, I'm actually in better health than I've been in 8 years. In the past, 5 or 6 months, I've been nothing, no doctors watching anything. I have a surgery lined up. I'm not recovering from anything. So I'm kind of riding that wave with excitement that I'm so healthy that I can't even bring myself to take any risk.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm hoping I can continue feeling good and being healthy because it's been a long 8 years. But anyway, so hopefully in May I can go back out and finish. But it was just too much for me to go 2 times to Toronto for one season as a guest star. But I love it, and it's so fun to. My friend was a creator of this Discovery show, so I've known him since I moved to LA 22 years ago, and he put me on the show. So, but yeah, that's where life has led me.
Well, if you are only listening to the podcast, I'm going to post those photos. If you send them to me, I'll post them on the website so people. I
don't think I can only post the Star Trek one. I can't post the Army of the Dead.
Okay.
Because that's still under wraps.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And thank you so much, Tig. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay.
I'll see you in a couple of years.
I'll see you on the other side.
Yes, you will.
Beam me out, Scotty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.